slow shutter, what it really means and how you can use it to create your own custom effects. I have always loved to incorporate slow shutter into my projects. It's really an effective way to stimulate the story you're trying to tell and to provoke the viewer with visual that we are not used to seeing all the time. Recently I made this specific slow shutter transition, and subconsciously it may have been inspired by the time slipping scene from Loki. So that is the one specific effect I want to share with you and how you can achieve it. But first, what is slow shutter? The standard frame rate for filming that your eyes perceive in the most natural way possible is 24 frames per second. And the 180-degree rule states that your shutter should always be double the frame rate in order to have the most natural motion blur in the picture. But what happens if you lower the shutter to 15, 10 or 8 frames per second? Your camera captures the light in only a few images, like 15, 10 or 8. But because it is with really slow shutter speed, you get all of these blurry motions in each frame. I have tried to use it in many ways for time lapses, adding more motion for a scene and so on, but I wanted to see if I can create some kind of a transition with it specifically for a stationary shot on a tripod, as I had to film this scene alone. And it was quite easy to pull that off actually. All I needed was to film the same scene from the same angle, but in different shutter speeds. One in slow shutter, making the motions blurry and dreamy, and the other one in high shutter speed, making it possible to slow down the footage afterwards. After that, it is a matter of stacking both of the shots on each other and finding the right moment for making the cut. For the shot with me in it, I simply overlaid the low shutter speed over the normal shot and changed the opacity to lighten. That way I have both clear borders of my face and glitching part of it, you know, something like the time slipping in Loki. For the shot with the spinning mic was the other way around. I still overlaid the clips, but as the shot was made against the white background of the softbox, I changed the opacity to darken. That way I could extract only the dark part of the image, which is the hanging and spinning microphone. I guess you have to play with it, depending on the surroundings that you're filming it in, but in most cases you would want to overlay the shots and in some way change the opacity. Also, a key factor in making it seamless is using a speed ramp. I slowed down the high shutter speed footage, and then right before cutting to the lower shutter speed shot, I increased the speed and it all just flowed together. Speed ramping always gives you more control of how each shot is flowing and going into the next one. And finally, to finish it off, you have to put your head down and find the right sound effect that will make it just so much more realistic and will captivate all the senses of the viewer. For example, hear it without sound effects and only music. And now with sound effects. The difference is noticeable, right? I find it really easy but yet effective to create this transition yourself. It doesn't take that much time at all, and actually you don't need much editing. Just overlay it, find the right moment, speed ramp it, and you're all set. And with that said, I can say that I really hope that you found this video useful, and it would be awesome to see you using this technique. So if you make something with it, please tag me in it, I would love to see it. Incorporating slow shutter into your videos is one of the coolest things, but please don't overdo it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. And if you haven't yet, subscribe.